Pump it up met de Dance Top 100. Met natuurlijk deze bovenaan de playlist.
Good morning, everyone. Talking right into the commercial, I figured that would be a nice little bit of timing. We should be live right now, or going live right now, that is. And I'm chuffed. I'm in the mood for some tournament gameplay. Not sure about you guys, but I hope you are too. And we're going to be streaming the Realistic Tournament Day 2 for the Asia server. I should be following Feast, but as so far it's not really gone as intended. I'm not entirely sure that that will be the team that I'll be following, but we'll see when we get the invite. And let me take this way. We'll move to what is in my garage, which is this. And in about 1 minute, we should get a room invite. So, we have to be a little bit patient. I will take you over the groups that we have today, which is not that many. This is the chart that... Ooh. This is stupid because it should be done. I was looking at it earlier and it worked just fine. There we go. So, we have 2 groups. We have the end time meta, which is cats. Then we are blinded, which is feast. Grilled puppy, which is king. And a Valentine, which is a lot of random clans. And in the other group we have E7. There we are. Good Young Love You, which is mostly R9 with a little bit of extra from others. We have Plato. There's a room invite. I'll accept it in a little bit. And Smoky Cray King, which is CR with a little bit of extra. So that is... we'll be streaming potentially group 1. And we are. So we start off with Feast versus Cats. We still have over 4.5 minutes left to go though, so that is plenty of time. And we just have to wait. We are starting off on that real of course. Snowy map with the train tracks in the middle, though otherwise it wouldn't be called that. But overall, we've seen mostly coordinated pushes happening on any which map in realistic mode. E50Ms and Sheridans dominating, but the E50Ms even more so because the Sheridan, of course, it does not have much armor. It can get murdered very easily, and if you don't pan those missiles, it can be very tricky. We saw that yesterday, where Jamaican for NA was trying to get the missiles in, and it did not really go as intended. So, Feast is all there. Cats is still arriving a little bit. Well, Cats and a little bit extra. But I'm just going to call them Cats because that's easier. And now we just wait. 3.5 minutes left to go. Let's just checking OBS that everything is stable, going as it should. Let me know if the sound is alright, that kind of stuff. But as I haven't changed any settings, it should be okay. And... now we just wait. I keep saying that, but there's really nothing else we can do. There's no talking about the lineups yet because those are incomplete. There's not even a full team yet on Cats' side. We will have a match regardless because there's more than 5 players on either side. But still, there will be more people arriving, I'm certain. And it looks like Feast has mostly decided on what they're gonna drive, and we might actually see some mice in action. No, they're going to be E5s. That's something I've noticed last night with NA, by the way. The E5s were used a lot, and it didn't always go well, but there were positions where they were like rocking it. So I wonder if we're going to see more of those today. Cat seems to have decided on 2 E50Ms, a T22 medium, 2 T62As, a 268 and a Sherry. And that's going to be tricky because the Sherries, like I said, it is a risk to take them because of the missiles. It's also a pro to take them because the missiles go either which way. I don't think he's going to drive the RU, but people are being changed out and switched in. And some spectators. There we go. Okay, definite is... or not. They're still trying to decide what to do. It's actually quite nice to see this because it shows that they're not entirely certain what they're gonna do. But we see 4 E50Ms, a T62A, a Sherry, and another T60... not even a Sherry, no. 5 E50Ms and 2 T62As. That's gonna be interesting. 6 E50Ms. Are they gonna go for a full E50M team. There we go. Looks like it. That's going to be interesting to see. And they're going to go up against only 2 E50Ms. A Sherry, a 140, 2 E5s and a T22 medium. But the Rampanzers are going to be interesting to watch for this. This is the thing though. People don't take this tournament all too seriously, and I think that's generally a good thing. Because it should just be fun. There's not much riding on this. It's just for shits and giggles, really. So we just have to wait until they actually ready up. They have 46 seconds left to go. But they do really seem to be sticking to the 7 E50M team. So that's going to be funny. So now we just wait. Half a minute left to go before we see the first match of this best of 3. This is, by the way, it's a double elimination bracket. So winners from this match and from the other match that's happening at the same time will go against each other. The losers of those matches will go against each other. The loser of the winner match and the loser of the winner of the loser match will go up against each other, and then you get the grand finals. It sounds really complicated. If you see it in the chart, it's really not. But I can't show you that here. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Those E50Ms though. I have a feeling we're gonna see a somewhat coordinated rush burst somewhere. Yeah, they really should have done the same. All those E50Ms are heading towards base C. And Face is going more towards the middle. Ilya's hanging back a little bit. Driving into the train. Getting a free shot there. Putting back, but they are capping base B and they might get away with it. And I wonder if they're also going to get base A. We don't see the blues on the minimap. And there we go, he has it. So now they just need to defend the base. Because they will have a big point advantage very fast. CX is taking some damage. Now they need to be careful not to show their soft spots to either spawn, to be fair, because they could go either which way. CX is moving up, probably to spot anyone that might be going. But he has to be careful, because this is exactly Maddox losing some HP there. They know that there are people there. Ivechar, not really in a good location. And they are crossing over there. Ooh, that is a big hit into CX there. They have the bases, but they need to play very defensively. And so far, they are basically showing their weaknesses to the enemy team, which is generally not a good thing to do. And there he goes, first one out of business. And even though that they lost the gun, they still have the point advantage. And now die in a Sherry. Ooh, that was an expensive knot pen. Because now they're going to lose their base advantage. Which means that they will lose their point advantage relatively fast. Very smart gameplay by Cats. And it's cost Face so much HP already. We see Get in the Van now getting hit. CX losing more HP. He's not going to survive much longer. He's a one-shot now, and there he goes. So both guns are gone. And basically that's a massive disadvantage for Feast. Because now wherever they go, they will be outnumbered. Ilya's almost gone. But Daitadabao is gone first. And that bounce is a very expensive bounce. Is he even gonna get the kill? Yes, he does, but he doesn't survive much longer. So it's now 5 versus 3. And Moist is almost gone. There he goes. This is very proper gameplay by Cats. And basically it was all Feast's own fault, because they were not defensive. They had the bases, they did not They did not have to take any risk, but they did. They took massive risks and they lost a lot of HP before because of it. Do Me Please now also gone. Maddox's the only one left. And he's not gonna survive much longer. He's actually getting rammed, which is exactly what the E50M is known for. Let's actually just get a closer look. But he's not gonna last long. Even if he has some nice bounces, he's not gonna... There he goes, another ram, and it's the end. And the first match is for Cats. Well played, Cats. HP-wise, there's not... Well, there's near 4k damage difference, but still. Thing is that, in this case, Feast should have played defensively. There was no reason for them to... be that aggressive. The E5s in the middle lost so much health so quickly without any reason. When they had the bases, they should have known to play defensively. But the thing is, base B is very hard to keep when you have people on both spawns aiming towards you, seeing your soft spots, mainly your flank. And that's the tricky part of where they were. Now, both teams are ready. We're going to go again with an all E50M team versus a Sherry, a 140, 3 E50Ms and 2 T22s. They dropped the E5s, which I think is a good call because they cost him the game. And here we go. And I kind of wonder what's going on here. Also notice that none of the E50Ms have the legendary camo. Personally, I don't like it either, so that kind of might explain why they're not using it. Then again, they are going for snowy camos because it makes them less noticeable, of course, in realistic mode. So that could explain it too. So we see a similar movement from the E50Ms as we saw the last time. Only this time, Feast is heading that way as well, and that actually means that I'm gonna go this way with the camera so that we can see what's going on. Die in a tricky position already. Nice big shot into Nova Works though. Nicely done. But he has to be very careful and he's lucky to get away with it. Ivy getting some shots in. And getting shot in return. Ooh, big hit into Mikika. Not really pronouncing that right, but okay. Ivy Chaw now in trouble, getting rushed. And that's exactly that he's isolated. And that's not gonna go well for him. But Feast is capitalizing on that by going after while Ivy Chaw is gonna go down soon. But Wall is gonna go first and then Locust is next on the menu. Whereas Ivy Chaw is still alive. But look at this, the rate of focus fire here, that's exactly, they took out 2 tanks in the time that it took Cats to take out 1. And Feast is moving in, they're going for Eye Lion, there he goes. Next on the menu, Nova Works. And you can see them aiming, they're tracking, they're just murdering, and they are losing some guns. But when it's 5 versus 3, it will be very unlikely for them to lose this match. There goes Mika, Ilias, now the preferred target. And there he goes, and now only Cats for Freedom is left. And even though that's a very admirable name, he's not going to survive against this many guns. And this is actually kind of bullying. But there he goes, and the ram kill that CX wanted is denied. So now it is 1-1, and we're going to go to the tiebreaker map. Know that anyone that loses now is not out yet because of the double elimination thing. But this was the focus fire that I've been talking about yesterday from Feast. The way that they worked this around, they actually sacrificed Ivy Chaw. Probably Ivy Chaw, I don't know, Ivy Chaw, I'm gonna stick with that. They sacrificed him in order to wrap it up, and it worked brilliantly. So in half a minute we're going to go to Winter Malinovka, another winter map, and Feast is going to go there in a Sherry, a 140, 3 E50Ms, a T22 medium and a 215B. And they're not going to be up against 7 E50Ms, they're going to be up against only 2 of them, 3 215Bs, a Sherry, and an Object 140. So that is quite a bit of DPM, but less mobility. And it might be tricky. Those 215Bs can be very troll though. And of course it is a tiebreaker, so the pressure's on for both. Well, sort of, because they're still not... Whoever is losing this will not be knocked out just yet. So let's see what they're gonna do. We've seen what a Sheridan can do in base B. We've also seen what can happen to a Sheridan in base B. Both teams are heading towards the base C and B area. The 215B is not using their speed boost. And we see Feast pushing in Die, going towards the middle in his Sherry. Very aggressive move by Die. And now he might be stuck. That is tricky. Nova Works heading around. Die, you might want to get out of there. Ah, he does take a big hit there. But base C is being captured. Base B is still free. Nova Works is heading around to base A, wanting to get those snipes in. But that is a very dangerous move though, because you basically make your team be a gun short by being there. And that miss with the missile though, that could be costly as well. Iron Lion having lost quite a bit of HP, but overall Nova could be capping the base, but they're not doing that. Ivycho losing a little bit of HP there. And we see Feast moving in, going after the tanks now, outgunning them. Big hits into the Sherry. Sherry is first on the menu. No, maybe it's Mika. Yeah, it's Mika. Well, it's not Mika, but I'm gonna name Mika. CX is almost gone. Maddox is almost gone. They have to be careful. And they have to take out those one-shot tanks. And Nova Works was too far off. He's still trying to get shots in, but he's not gonna get the damage in that he could if he was here. There goes Ilyas. Die is still alive. Locust next on the menu. Nova Works arriving. Base B being capped. It is 6 versus 3, but HP wise there's not that much difference. They will need to work this carefully and try and survive. Ooh, there goes 2. It's 3 versus 3. It's 2 versus 2. And they need to be careful. Nova Works is still very healthy. And he's arriving just now, so they need to... They're not shooting the same target though, and that could be very costly. Ooh, this is not... No, that bounced though! And that not being a high roll, that could be very, very costly. And there he goes. And the game is for Cats, and Cats is through to the winners round. Nova Works, why you have to do that? Don't be a salty ass. That's just sad. Nothing about this was easy. You actually were camping from a distance, so that's saying a lot about you. I never understand that. Why you have to be like that? But yeah. That is the first matchup over. We're gonna get another one in, I think, 20 minutes, but I'm gonna make sure. We should be sticking with Feast. And we don't know yet. I think maybe we're gonna go straight on in once the other side is ready. That means that I'm not going to be showing you any replays of any sorts, because we don't know how much time there is between the matches. I thought I saw something like that in the description though. Let's have a look. Final stage. It's supposedly in 15-20 minutes. But it doesn't actually show that, so I'm actually... These kind of things, I'm always a little bit afraid. So they're still going. And actually that was their first match in... This is so confusing. Are they actually knocked out? No, they're not. They're against Valentine. There we go. In 5 minutes. That means that the room invite will be up soon. But this is what I mean. The matches follow each other quite fast. I'm actually not sure what I'm going to get the invite to, but I'm going to assume we're going to go to the lower bracket first and then onwards, because there's not... Actually, I have no idea. These are the kind of things where wargaming system confuses me. So we just have to be patient, see what happens. Not much else I can do though. We can go over the tanks that are in the store, or we can go over the massive amounts of tanks. I do not have my filter on mind. These are all the tanks I have on my Asia account. This was the Christmas present. I got this one free from a crate. And the rest is just the tier 1s. Not even all of them. Thing is that I can't really play on Asia. It's the only server where I have ping that is just dismal. I haven't tried RU to be fair, but I know that between RU and EU there won't be that much difference. NA has about 100-120 ping for me, which is perfectly playable. And it's stable, that's the important part. And on EU I have 20-30 ping. So that's saying a lot. So this is what's in the store. Crates. Crates are bad, MK. It's something that I can't get behind. A lot of people think that if they buy an X amount of crates, they can actually just get the tank for certain. But no matter how many crates you buy, it will always be... just watching the chat now. Cats is invading. But even if you buy like thousands of crates, the chances of it will always be 5%. Which means that regardless of what you do, your chances will never increase. So you can buy thousands of crates and still not get the tank. It just becomes more probable. I'm just keeping going back because I want to know if I'm gonna get a room invite for the lower bracket, but apparently I'm not. Otherwise it should already be here, I think. So that is not very hopeful. We have the Soviet 8. Well, no, we have the IS-6, which is actually, it's a good bundle if you don't have the tank. Actually, it used to be such a monster. It used to have preferential matchmaking. Technically, it still does, but all of the game is +1, -1 now. And before, when it was +2, -2, the IS-6 would not see tier 10. And that's different now. They removed that. The only tanks with preferential matchmaking that are left now are, and we have to go for it here, the Valentine 2 is one of them, and the Panzer B2. So if you tune it with either a Valentine 2 or a Panzer B2, you will not see tier 5. Yeah, I know someone is saying rooms up for next game. I didn't get an invite. That means that I'm not following that match. I think they want me in the upper bracket thingy. I'm gonna assume that. Because I think they're happening at around the same time. Yeah. Because if one starts at 18, there's no way that you can have 3 matches done before past. So we will be watching King versus... That's the one that I was looking at. King versus Valentine. No, I think this is. Oh, I wish these kind of things would update. No, so we will be watching Cats versus King, and we will miss Valentine versus Feast. So we just have to be a little bit patient. Room invite will be up in about 8 minutes, I think. So, for the rest, what is in the store, we have these two, the EC130 and the IS-2-ish. And I'm not a big fan of either of them. Rear-mounted turrets and me don't always get along. You have to be a very specific tank for me to actually like that. And the EC130, it's not horrible, but it's got nothing going for it that sets it apart from other tier ATDs and would make it better. And that's one of the reasons why I would want to buy a tank. It either looks adorable or it has to have something that other tanks in the tiers do not have. So you can also buy the, well, at least not the ISU, but you can buy the IS-2-ish separately. I think also what I dislike about this is the fact that it's like same IS gun, and I'm not a fan of that. Of course, we have more containers here. We have the AT-58, which is actually the first, well, no, the first premium tank that I consciously bought. Let me explain that. The first tank that I ever bought in a game was the Panzer V2, which was offered to me for a 99-cent sale. Of course, I had literally only driven like 3 battles in the game. I drove 1 battle in that, didn't like it, and I sold it because I wanted credits for the next year. I did not have a clue yet as to what premium tanks were worth in any way. So, for that, I always regretted it, and I was glad it came back for sale later on, but then it cost me €5 or something, which was quite a big difference with the 99 cents. And of course, I didn't know about the whole asking for tanks back thing yet either. Or at least I knew that you could only do it like once in a lifetime, and I didn't want to spend it on that. But the 1858 came in December 2014. And it was the first TD Prem that made it into the game. And I mainly got it for that reason, because I was always driving the TDs. That's also how I learned to drive in sniper mode like I do. And that was the first one that I got, and it was great fun because at the time it was pretty OP for its tier. It was slow, but it had a great gun and everything. It still has that, but it's not as competitive as it used to be. So with that we have the ISU 122S, and same with the ISU 130. It's not necessarily a bad tank, but it doesn't have much going for it either. And that's the thing, there are so many tanks now that are okay, but they're not great, and they don't really have anything going for them. And especially with the way that Wargaming has been sort of making sure that every tier is unbalanced now, this fits that. So you can also buy camouflages in different tiers, you can buy emoji avatars. You can get certificates for free XP, but generally if you have the XP to convert, it's cheaper to do that, so keep that in mind. This could only work, it could only be worth it actually if you can combine the certificates with the ones that you already have. And of course you can get credits, which is very useless in my opinion. Just taking a quick look here, but we still have some minutes left, so let's go over the bundles. Like I said, Valentine 2 has preferential matchmaking. It does not see tier 5 unless you tune it with a tank that is not like the Valentine 2 or the Panzer V2. That's why I think that the Matilda 4 is not the soulmate of the Valentine 2. Mainly because of the fact that it does not have that preferential matchmaking. If you were to tune the two together, it means that the Valentine, which is not really made for it, will see tier 5. Now you can also get gold bundle, which is a pretty good deal. You can get a gold bundle, which is a pretty good deal. You have 2 little seal clubbers in very broken tiers that will have a hard time carrying themselves, so I would not advise you to get that. But that's the thing, after 5.5, the low tiers have been so unbalanced, and it's difficult to play in there. I mean, I know how it works, I have crew skills, everything, and for me it's easier. But imagine being a new player, not having the crew skills, not having much of a clue what you're doing. It's gonna be very difficult. There are some tanks that you will have a hard time penning if you can pen them at all. And yeah, I remember that when we first got 5.5, there were tier 2 tanks that could not pen the French tier 1 tank. It was nerfed later on. But that's kind of goes to show, in my opinion, how well balanced the low tiers were and still are, because it's horrible. In the meantime, I'm just quickly looking over the chat. Don't think I've missed much. And now we just have to be patient for the room invite, which should be up in like 2 minutes, so we can basically just admire my box tank. I mean, it's nice that I got it for free, otherwise I probably wouldn't have gotten it. Well, I wouldn't get anything on discount because I don't play on Asia server, but box tank can be fun, but it's very situational. BTSV is a little monster, but again, pen is quite bad. With the way that Wargaming has been treating low tiers, again, it will struggle. Then of course you have this one and this one and this one and this one. which are not awful, but they're nothing on the old tier ones. I adore the old tier ones. But yeah. Now, someone just said realistic game mode exposes just how bad the player base is right now. I'm not exactly disagreeing with that. Because the thing is, you have to be... well, not necessarily only that. It also exposes the ones that are in sniper mode too much. Which is one of the reasons why realistic mode does not work for me. I'm not enjoying it, mainly because I'm used to being in sniper mode and using my minimap. But the minimap does not work as it does in normal matches in realistic mode. I actually have to see the tanks. I'm perfectly aware of every tank around me as long as it's on the minimap. But with realistic mode that doesn't work. So that's the thing. So I actually don't enjoy realistic mode. I do enjoy the tournaments though, because they're quite fun and they're quite random. Yesterday we saw a few times where people would just flank around other teams and they would just get behind them and get those first shots in, and it was free damage. And by the time the enemy would turn and deal with them, they would have already lost a chunk of health, and that can be very difficult to make up for because of the fact that you have to focus fire. You need to focus fire to get it back. There we go. There's a room and there's my mouse. There we go. So now we have King versus Cats. And we'll just have to wait a little bit before we get the actual battle, because we have 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go, which is plenty of time for the other teams to still arrive. I probably should give realistic mode another chance, to be fair, but at the moment, especially with the raiding challenge happening, and, well, to be fair, with me streaming it pretty much this whole weekend, I'm not going to be doing any playing, so I'm not going to be playing realistic mode. Talking realistic mode apparently works quite well, by the way. As Mutsu just said, imagine Tog. Nowadays, by the way, Artford, you can ask for tanks back without any limitation. As long as you have the gold or the credits you got for it, you can get it back easy. So that's one thing at least. Since I sold the Panzer B2 and later bought it back, I've never sold a premium tank. I have sold some regular ones, but when 5.5 happened, I made sure that I had all the collector tanks in my collection. Mainly because I don't want to miss out on anyone, and I still really regret not having the tier 1s, because they just removed them from the game altogether, and it's just nah. So we see Cats has gotten ready in 2 E50Ms, 2 T22 mediums, 121 and 2 T62As for Desert Sands. I wonder what camos they're going to be sporting, because that's also something. I never pay attention to that because it doesn't really matter. But in realistic mode you have to pay a lot of attention to what kind of camo you have, because it makes you more or less visible. And with the normal camos, I just wear whatever colorful, whatever makes me happy. And that's mostly the very colorful and bright camouflages. You do not want to know what my AMX30B looks like on my account on EU, because it's like bright green and yellow. And that's the kind of stuff, I absolutely love it. So we have 2.5 minutes left to go. First of King is arriving. And here we go, they're steadily coming in. We just need to wait for them to actually get there. But they still have plenty of time, a little over 2 minutes left. And we see some E50Ms and 215Bs. I would be happy to see the 263. It could be a tricky tank. And let's see what they're gonna go with. And there we go. We got an E50M, a Spaghetti, a 4202, a Sherry, a 215B, an E50M, and potentially a Leo. And on the other side we see that one of the T62As has been changed into a Sherry. It's not using any spectators. I'm not sure why King isn't moving theirs in. But there we go, one of the Leos has been turned into, well, the Leo has been turned into an E50M. I'm not sure if Wargaming allows spectators at this stage. They don't seem to be able to be moved in. No, they should be able to. My being there makes no difference. There we go. Because I'm sort of seen as extra. The game doesn't count me as a team member. So that shouldn't be any issues. Half a minute left to go. And then we will see the battle. There's a sense, by the way, has led to some really funny battles because you see people flanking and then people turn up in the other spawn and start shooting people in the rear that are looking up and over to try and see the rest. So that kind of is funny. You have to move very fast, Fallen Angel, if you want to see the battle. And here we go. And let's see what happens. Again, E50M domination filled with other fast tanks. There's the camo all around. Except for Mother Slipper. That is exactly the kind of camo that I would use, but it will make him stand out a lot here. And that's kind of the thing though. That's something that you need to think about before you enter these battles. At the same time, with everything being as broad as it has been, chances are that it won't really matter. Because everyone is going desert. Ooh, Sherry losing some HP there already. As does both Sherrys actually. Eye Lion moving him. But they will have to be careful. He immediately pays for it. So he pulls back wisely. And we see that King is basically clustered together. Cat's more or less so as well. A little bit of damage being done there. Overall we see Krispy Kreme now heading forwards. Some shots happening. They're being quite cheeky. And we see now that Novaworks is being... Oof, that was painful. They need to be careful. They need to pull back. Oh! Okay, that was a nice missile hit there. Nice Sherry hit, at least I should say. And that means that they are... There goes another missile. And that only hits the plane. Oof, big hit into Mother Slipper. Krispy Kreme. And basically Krispy Kreme is now in trouble. He's pulling back, but he's steadily losing HP. All of King is. And there goes a missile. And that only hits the sand. But overall, he already earned his worth by taking out one tank. But that's the tricky thing about the missiles, isn't it? They're capping base. They don't really care about the base. Novaworks taking a big hit there, not a missile. But now they've lost 2 tanks and they're steadily losing more and more HP. And they're clustered together, which is also not going to work in their favor. Ooh, big hit there into Uncle. Oops, I killed you. One pulling back, firing a missile. Ooh, that did hit. But so far it is 7 versus 4. 7 versus 6. But there's so few targets left. And so many guns left on Katz's side. They're even ignoring the Sherry. Well, no, they're trying to hit on the Sherry, but the Sherry is too fast. And we see Plump Dragon. Oof, taking out the Sherry. And now only Plump Dragon is gone and lost. Why he's gone. And that's the first match of this matchup. Again, this is still a best of 3. But grand finals will be best of 7. Nearly double the damage. Nah, not quite, but a lot more damage on one side than on the other. So we have King switching people a little bit. Not sure why they're only using one spectator though. But we have Cats that is ready with, or almost ready, there we go, with 2 E50Ms, 2 T22 mediums, a 1-1, a Foch and a Sherry. And they're gonna go up against 2 E50Ms, 2 215Bs, a 113, and I'm really hoping that they're gonna ready up in time. There we go, another 215B and a T22 medium. That was a very close call. Yes, Artford, there used to be a time limit on asking tanks back, but they changed it last year, and you can ask them back unlimited as long as you have the amount that you got for it, or that they're worth, so probably each credits. So here we go. Let's see what happens in the second match. And we see that King is now focusing on the city side, while Cats is heading into the desert. Ooh, that was a big hit already. Just crossing over. That's the thing with Realistic, you don't have to be spotted. As long as they see you, they see you. And that's kind of the thing though, isn't it? Base A now being kept, but King will have a point advantage here, because they will have kept the base faster. T22 medium, 20 foe, taking a line position. But they're now just waiting it out. They don't need to take any chances, because King has the point advantage. They can just wait. Some are losing quite a bit of HP there. They need to be careful, because if he's taken out, there we go, the point advantage is immediately in Katz's favor. Ilias losing a little bit of HP there. And they are moving in. They don't need to. This is something I never understood, because if you have the point advantage, you don't need to move in. Uncle Ilias is on his own. He's in trouble. They're not shooting the same targets, which is definitely not a good thing. Ilias is using a lot of HP. Uncle is almost gone. There goes Ilias. Novaworks now in trouble. This is the thing, they took so much of a risk without needing to. There goes Nova. Plump Dragon is almost gone. But he's still alive. There he goes. It is 5 versus 4, but they're a little bit spread out. Mother Slipper almost gone. There he goes. 5 versus 3. Foe almost gone. There he goes. This is what I mean. They didn't need to take any chances. They do, but they're getting away with it. Big hit into DKM there. Cats will take this home. It would be very weird for them not to. But Krispy Kreme is going to go off against Papa. And that is a little bit of a big risk though. Oof, that was a basically derped hash. And now we see Krispy Kreme trying to get out of there. He could potentially make a kill, but he doesn't, and he gets rammed to death. And that's the end of the match. And Cats takes it home, is going through to the grand finals. Damage-wise, it was a lot closer again, and I think that if Sonder hadn't been basically perma-tracked as he was and then murdered. Oh, there's a room. So we're going straight off. This means that Feast won from Valentine. Ooh. In the meantime, my chat is a bit... There we go. So here we go. We are already 4.5 minutes left to go. So that's plenty of time. But I think, like I said, if Sonder hadn't been out in the open and permatracked as he was, then King would have had this. Because they had the stronger positions. They had the base advantage. Well, not necessarily base advantage, but point advantage. It was just a matter of being in the wrong place at the wrong time and getting wrecked for it. So our first time, I think, watching Valentine. That should be interesting. And the winner of this match will go up against Feast. But that's the thing, though. A lot of the realistic tournament is down to focus fire, and if you get the tank out, one tank out first, it will give you such a big advantage. Unless you lose a ton of health doing it. We've seen that happen too, but then you're doing it wrong. So we see some interesting tanks of choice, choice of tanks in Valentine's side. We see a Mouse, 3 140s, in E4, a Sherry and a T22 medium. And I'm going to go up against the T62A, a 4202, a Sherry, a 215B, 2 E50Ms and a Spaghetti. So that is a tricky thing. Tricky lineups, to be fair. I think lineup wise, King should have this. Mainly because the heavy tanks and especially CDs don't seem to work as well in... well, now the Mouse is being changed to a 215B, which is a more sensible choice. But they just don't seem to work all that well in realistic mode. No, we're gonna stay with the Mouse after all. So with 2.5 minutes left to go, we just need to wait until the battle begins. And then we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I'm getting tag places. Can't really check that now. I don't check Discord while I'm streaming. Unless there's some emergency, but then my stream mods know how to get to me. 2 minutes left, a little bit more patience needed. E4 is changed into an E3. Strengths and weaknesses. E3 is a stronger tank, but E4 does have the turret. And that is a weakness that the E3 has. But they still haven't decided quite if that is what they want to take home with them. Exactly, Spartan Lapid just said playing open grounds in realistic is disadvantageous. And you're absolutely right there. It is, because if you're out in the open, you're a lot more visible to your enemy team, and that makes you a lot easier to take down. So just over a minute left to go for the finals of the lower bracket. We have to be very patient here. That's the thing though, 5 minutes I think is too long. You don't need 5 minutes, especially when you're already in the tournament flow. 3 minutes would have been just fine. "43 seconds left to go. Spectators on both sides. Almost all ready except for Mouse. There we go. Everybody's ready. Comrade Klaas just said, if you have a point advantage, you don't need to move in. That's exactly what we were saying in voice, but we weren't really caring. That's the beauty, though, of the whole realistic tournament and not taking it too seriously. But yeah, overall, Cass should have lost one of those, at least. Because they were quite reckless. But their focus fire was a lot better than King's, and that basically cost King the game. Along with what I said about the positions Sonder was in when he got permatracked. every time he was moving he got tracked again, and just, yeah, that cost him a gun. So let's see what's going to happen. We have a giant pinky mouse, so he's definitely not trying to hide. So remember what I said about proper camos actually hiding you a little bit more? If you want to stand out, this is what you do. Especially in a mouse, oh my god. But to be fair, it is a awesome camo and it does look really good on the mouse. Oh my god. So let's see what's gonna happen. We see that most of the Valentine team is heading towards base A, whereas we have a lone mouse and a Sherry heading towards the B and C area. Sherry holding, mouse camping, Sherry already losing HP. So that is a tricky thing to do. Well spotted by King on the other side. Base A has been capped, so they have a point advantage. They just need to defend the other bases. Mouse should not be too forwards because he's basically alone there. And that was a missed shot. The rest of Valentine moving up, but that's a tricky position to move up in. Base B and C being capped. C almost capped. Plump Dragon in base B. Safely there. They can't decap it. Plump Dragon also noticing the pink. And now King has a definite advantage in bases as well as in HP, even though the difference is only like 1.5k. Sheridan not being careful enough. The thing is that they need to get that base. And now we see T62A. They need to take out that Plump Dragon. And they have 4 guns to do that in. But they're being very careless and they're not committing to it. They should have taken him out before. Mouse now moving in. There he goes. Plump Dragon is out of the equation. And they are capping base B. If they get away with it, they will have a massive advantage both in gun and... Oof, Sheridan being chased. Spaghetti now arriving. Spaghetti might just take out. Oof, that bounced though. But now he has 1 shell left. No, he's still alive. Okay, Mami is gone. HP wise. There goes. Basically, this is chaos. Can't really see it any other way. King had a strong advantage. But now we see that they are sort of missing. I'm not sure what Krispy Kreme was doing there. He could have taken out the 1-shot Object 140 Crazy Cat. Kauta almost gone. HP wise they have it, but base wise they still don't. The Object 140 still alive somehow, but there he goes. And now it is 4 versus 3. E3 reloading. But there's an FE that's going to come up behind. He's being flanked from all sides. This is beautiful to see, to be fair. Look at this. Just the way that he... E3, that's the weakness of it. The downside of it. So many one-shots though. And he needs to... This is something I don't get. You have a 1-shot in front of you. What do you shoot? The 1-shot or the 2-shot? No, of course you shoot the 2-shot. That kind of stuff doesn't make sense to me. He's alone now. The mouse is not going to survive for much longer. Sherry just took out the other Sherry. But the mouse is almost gone. And there he goes. And now it will be up to 1 lone Sherry to kill them off. And that's very unlikely to happen. Especially when he's too hasty with his shots. And he actually doesn't pen. And now he has a 4202 in front of him. And that is a big ram. And that's the end of Valentine. And King takes home the first match. Yes, you can be my friend here. I don't play here though, so take that into account. But that's the thing with this. For all intents and purposes, if Valentine had played better, they would have had this. But they were all over the place. They weren't focus firing. They weren't shooting the low health targets. They were just shooting whoever. And that really worked in King's favor. So well played by King, because they just capitalized on the enemy's mistake. So we see that King is now going for a T62A, an FE4202, a Sherry, a 215B, 2 E50Ms, and a Spaghetti versus a Mouse again, a 3 Spaghetti, Sherry, and a T22 medium. And I kind of wonder how that's going to go this time around, because just the position that Valentine was in, they weren't the best of positions, let's put it that way. So now here we go into the second match. This is still a best of 3, so anything can still happen. And very giant pink mouse. That's never gonna get old though. I'm going into realistic, and what do I take? A giant tank with no camo value. And I'm gonna make it pink to boot. Let's see what is going on here. And we see that Valentine is heading towards the city this time. They're not gonna go for A. Even though last time that was kind of a good call. Mainly because of... Ooh! Spaghetti losing quite a bit of HP just crossing over there. Nicely noticed by King that they were there. And we see Kauta heading up and over. Let's see if he can get some shots in. Spaghetti losing more shots. Base B now being capped. I want to show you everything, but there's just too much going on here. Crazy Cat getting spotted. Mami moving up, losing a lot of HP. Not sure what Valentine is doing. They're doing a YOLO rush, but they're not committing to it. And they're actually getting in each other's way, blocking each other. And all of that is not really the way to go. That is a T22 that is ramming people. Isolating himself. They're not shooting the same target. What? What the hell am I seeing? Mami is almost gone. This is a part of my French fuckfest. Can't really see it any other way. Look at this. Tanks are just disappearing left and right. They're like, let's rush, yes, but let's not wait for the rest of the team to be here. We'll just go in and start shooting and just be murdered because we don't even shoot the same target. What the hell, guys? Honestly. So now there's only 2 tanks left. The Mouse is just arriving. And he can get some damage in, but now he's the last one left. I mean, like, epic holoban of time, maybe. But this is not gonna go well. Oh, I do feel for the giant pink mouse. Let's have a look. Base B is actually being... No, they're not capping it. It doesn't really matter, though, because there's no way. Oh, my God. Oh, he's not even trying anymore. He's giving up. No, he's bouncing. And there he goes. His turret even flies off. And falls off the tank. Seriously, that was just like, yeah, we're done here. Now, goodbye. The thing is that I'm always worried that people might be doing that seriously, but when... Ooh, that was fast. Next room is up. So now we have Cats versus King again. And this is the grand finals. That means that Cats knocked out Feast again. So kudos to them. And we have Cats versus King up next. So that's going to be fun. So let's have a look. See what's going to happen. I'll check out the scores afterwards. Because I am kind of curious what the score was there. Oh my god. But seriously, Pink Mouse is like the highlight. So this is a best of 7. That means that the team that reaches full victory first is the one that is going to take it home. Meanwhile, we are doing a double elimination thing, and we've been streaming for about an hour, or nearly an hour of gameplay, and that's actually quite bad because it goes to show how fast you can do these rounds. Oh my god. But yeah, we have King that has readied up in a T62A, a 4202, a Sherry, a 215B, 2 E50Ms, and a Spaghetti. That seems to be their go-to general lineup for this mode, and so far it's worked both against them and in their favor. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, Cats is still missing 1 person, but we see 3 E50Ms, a T62A, a 215B, and a Sherry. And we just need one more, but they have just over 3 minutes left to go. And in the meantime, I am going to take a little bit of a drink. Because, basically, talking this much dries out your throat. Oh god, yes. What Spartan Leopard just said. Look at yesterday's Sheridan Primo player clutch in Realistic 2. Basically, Darren uploaded a video the other day with the voice communication of Primo while they were doing a Realistic tourney, and they basically drove all Sheridan one battle, and it goes to show how evil that tank is. So, 2.5 minutes left to go. Cats is now complete. We've got another E50M. So 3 E50Ms, T22 medium, T628, 215B and a Sherry. So that's also a bit their go-to lineup for this game mode. And we're starting on Winter Malinovka, where we've just come off of. Thing is that they haven't really gone with a lot of different maps though. The map pool seems to be quite limited. But overall this was quite funny so far. So let's have a quick look in the meantime at the bracket, how everything else is going for the second group. Because they actually have 2 groups here. Just looking at the chart for group 2. And there we have E7 versus Smoky Kraking. I forgot what clan it was. I think it was CR. Not sure. But they are in the grand finals there. So E7 holding their own. E7 the clan that I'm actually in for the Asia server. Even though I don't play on the Asia server, they offered me a spot. So just over a minute left to go before we see the grand finals starting at least, because we might have 7 matches. Oh, lineup changed a little bit. Overall though, these kind of lineups, this is basically the meta that we see for the Realistic tournament. Lots of E50Ns, some Sherry. Oh, 2 Sherries. And that is a bit of a risk though. They're changing things around with 30 seconds left to go. That's a risk on its own. They kind of need to have another player. Just saying. Come on. There we go. So final lineup is 2 E50Ms, T22, 2 215Bs, a T628 and a Sherry. And here we go. Let's see what's gonna happen here. No pressure. Oh, foe is also not doing the whole let's not be noticed thing. Who doesn't like cats? How can you not like cats? Right. Okay. Yes, I can, Locust. And actually adore cats. Cats are the best animals around. I can't wait to have one again. So we see that Cats is heading towards base B and C, but hovering a little bit around her spawn. And King, oof, E50M already losing quite a chunk of health there. Thing is that when you cross over like that, especially when you do it more towards the middle, you lose a lot of health. Because you're just out in the open, you're showing your flank. Base C being kept, no contest there. Eliel's not losing any HP just yet. Uncle losing a little bit of HP. Cat's now moving in. And they kind of need to make a move. Foe now being too careful and basically abandoning his teammate, and that's not a good thing. But now they're in a little bit of a pickle. They need to work together more. Foe is now being demolished. He's not going to survive for much longer. There's literally nothing he can do. He can bounce a little bit, but it's not going to last. They're not shooting the same targets again. And King is basically demolishing them. They already took out a gun. Our line is almost gone. Sherry's moving in, wanting to get that kill. There goes Cats for Freedom. Oops, I killed you. Is taken out as well. But HP-wise, actually Cats has an advantage. But then they don't have a gun advantage. That can make such a difference because they just lose more and more health. There he goes. Our Lion next in line. It is 6 versus 3. It's all about the focus fire here. And King. Basically, I think what happened here is that some of Cats pushed in too aggressively. And then the rest of Cats did not come along. Look at the amount of HP that Ilya's just lost there. So fast. And now we only... Ooh. Sorry about that. My camera just jerked on me. Papa is running off. Tracked himself jumping over that. That's not a good thing. And now he's turning around, wanting to get a shot in. He might get a one shot here. He does take one out, but he's not going to survive this. And the ram is what finishes it off. Don't know who you are. So, basically damage-wise it was relatively close, but Cats just moved into... Well, non-committed, actually. They were just like, let's rush, no, let's not. And then half the team did one thing and half the team did the other. So in half a minute we get to go to the second match. Nothing has been lost yet because they need to get to 4 victories, not 2 this time because it's grand finals. And we see Cats now rating up in 4 A50Ms, a 215B, a 121 and a Sherry versus a T62A, a 422, a Sherry, a 215B, 2 E50Ms and a Spaghetti. And with 10 seconds left to go, we are ready to see what happens. And here we go. That's just it really. I still can't believe that someone said she doesn't like cats. Oh my god. Cats are the best animals. So let's see what's gonna go on here. I want to go C instead of B. Could be tricky. Yes, this, exactly. They need to communicate better. So we have Cats heading towards the BC area again. And King on the other side doing the same thing. I still really missed being able to see the blue team on the minimap. Because it just makes it so much easier to read movements. Just flying you over from a far angle. We see Eye Lion already taking some damage. See, they're moving way more to the back now. And that makes it a lot easier for them to preserve their HP. Locust losing a little bit of HP there. Base C being taken. Question is, will they risk it to decap it? They're not though. And that is very dangerous because now they're letting them have a point advantage. Whereas they already have an HP advantage because look at the positioning. Ilya's in a position where he's getting murdered from that side. There's no defense on that side, so there's no backup there. He's just losing a lot of HP. Papa now in the middle. Very light armor tank, immediately paying for it. Ilya's still alive, but barely. But this is basically what I meant. Cats is not focusing on the teamwork here. Locust is alone. He does have some help behind him, but not much. And the only help that he has is that the enemy doesn't know where his help is. He really does need help there. And his health is steadily being eaten away. He does have some help, but they just bounce, so that's not very good either. The 215B Has to be careful not to overexpose, because there was someone in the corner there. He no longer is. And there goes Ilyas with a flying turret. He survived a lot longer than I thought he would, to be fair. But this match certainly seems to be going into King's favor as well. And if I were to offer Cats any advice, it would be to work on your positioning, because right now you're taking so many chances wanting to get the shots in without knowing where the enemy is, losing so much health for that. Krispy Kreme now almost gone, but look at the difference in HP. Actually, they still have the advantage, but they look a lot unhealthier. Oof, Uncle just lost a lot of health there. Things they have to be careful. Oof. Thing is with Realistic though, you see the E50M there? Plump Dragon should have been shooting Novaworks. He's gonna do that now, I think. But he's not looking at him. I don't get it. This is Realistic mode for you guys. And 2 tanks gone at the same time. They almost had an advantage. Well, they almost not had an advantage, but not a disadvantage. And there goes iLion. Again, too eager. It's now 4 versus 6. This is going to be very hard for them. And they don't have a base. I'm not sure what happened there. And this thing, Locust, is not in a position. He can't angle in that many directions. And those shots missing is actually more luck than anything else. Big hit into Uncle there. E50M wanted to finish him off. Losing a little bit of HP for it though, and they don't really have any HP to spare. Plump Dragon losing some HP there. Sheridan taking out Uncle. But now we have, oops, heading after the Sherry. And if he hits that, Papa will be gone. But so far so good. They are lucky. There goes Oops, I killed you. Plump Dragon is almost gone. They need to get base C. They need to take out the one-shots. They need to aim at the same tank. If they had been, this would be very different. But now you have 3 guns gunning for you. And you missed that shot. So it's 2 versus 4. We are 920 points. They should take out Plump Dragon. But the Sheridan is almost gone. And they still need to get base C. That is the thing, I'm missing the 3rd one. Capping the base won't do you any good now. You need to take out the one-shots, you need to take them out now. Because if you don't take them out, there you go, and now they've won. Because they will hit 1k points here. Very well played by King, very messily played by Cats here. Because that just makes such a difference if you coordinate like that. But the way that I understand people driving in one direction, peeking out maybe a little bit too far, but you actually saw some of the peeking out happening where people were just too focused on who they wanted to shoot and weren't aware of anyone that might shoot them. So we are now moving on to Rockfield, and we see that Cats is now sporting 4 E50Ms, a 215B and IS-7 and a Sherry versus T62A and 4202, a Sherry, a 215B, E50M, AMX50B and a Spaghetti. So that's 7 different tanks, don't see that very often. And let's see what's gonna happen here. Again, no real pressure just yet because it's a best of 7, so you need to get to 4 victories before you've actually won. And E50M has been known to work very well in this game mode. But Cats definitely needs to work on their communication and their positioning, because the matches that Cats has lost so far are all matches where they are too spread out in positions where they're not supporting each other. And that's cost them a lot of tanks and guns and, well, games. So maybe that's something they can work on. So let's see what's happening here. We see Cats focusing on the base A side, the blue team doing the same thing. They're going to be meeting each other here. No one seems to want to go to base B or C. Nova Works heading more to the rear. IS-7 moving in. First shots happening. People again getting in each other's way. That is a very tricky thing to do. Spaghetti moving in, wanted to get that clip in, but he's losing quite a bit of HP over it. At the same time, Cats for Freedom is losing a lot of HP there. Nova Works just lost some as well. Now the base is being kept. Oof, Spaghetti. He's not looking too healthy. Getting himself stuck places with the AMX right up behind him, not allowing him to pull back. Oof. Mother Slipper losing a ton of HP there as well. And Krispy Kreme getting shot from behind and not even being punished for it. Base B is being kept by the Sherry. Just to be safe. They already have a gun advantage. But they need to be careful. Mika is almost gone. Nova Works losing HP there. Mika, you need to be more defensive. There goes Cats for Freedom. That is a bounce from the Sherry. They have the base. Again, they can play it defensively. They don't need to take any risk. Oof, that was a good shot by Mika though. So now, there's a gun advantage for Cats. But HP wise, they're not looking too good. Oof, there goes the E50M. And now we have a Sherry that is heading up behind the E50Ms. And he takes out Nova Works. And it is 4 versus 4. And they will need to work together. The focus fire is what will determine this one. There goes Uncle. Ooh, there goes 2 at the same time. And again, they're not focusing on the same... They're not careful. They're taking too many chances when they really don't need to. They're not shooting the same target either. That kind of stuff, it doesn't work for you. So now we have Papa again. The last one left. They don't know why he kept the base. He's gonna get one more shot in, but that's gonna... Ooh, no, he's still alive. That's gonna be the end of him though. Ooh, that's a good one. And there he goes. And the game is for King. But there's still... If King wins the next one, they take home the tournament. Cat still has a chance, but it will be a very tricky chance to win 4 in a row. We have seen it happen before though, so we know it is possible, but it's not exactly easy. But the thing is, Cats seem to playing chaotically, and if what I read in the chat about them not being on voice together, that kind of says a lot as well, because they're not focusing on the same targets. They're not calling it, basically. They're not calling what they should do. And that's costing them everything, to be fair. So we have King readied up in a T62A, a FV4202, Sherry 215B, E50M 113, and Spaghetti versus 3 E50Ms, 2 215Bs, an IS-4 and a Sherry. And with 3 seconds left to go, everyone is in their teams. And like I said, the pressure is on now, because Cats will have to win 4 games in a row to take it home, whereas King only needs to win 1 more game to take home the tournament. And camouflage wise, O-line is not really looking at it. No, but if you know that they're not going to split up, you know that you can work against it. Ilias. So now we see that Cats is moving. No, they're not. They're still going A and B. It's like they have some miscommunication again here. I-Lion moving towards base B. I wonder if he's going to be able to get it. If he does, though, that could mean a lot of big difference. But he's going into the middle here. See if he can get some shots in early. Krispy Kreme immediately being punished for being in that position. Potentially this could be a very good position for the E50Ms. But it will depend. Oof, why would you cross over like that? You lose so much HP for it. Oof. The 113 losing a lot of HP as well. But Locust is being very forwards, very not careful. And that could be very costly for them because he's almost gone. They take out Uncle, but right after Locust is gone. And now we have the 4202. And basically King is pushing in. And there goes another gun. But Mika is almost gone as well. The Sheridan is moving in. They need to shoot the Sherry. They need to shoot the same target. There we go, but both guns are gone on both sides. But Cats has a slight gun advantage here. But overall, they don't seem to be really helping each other. They're still not shooting the same targets. Ooh, I'm having some ping flying tanks and everything here. What the hell is going on? Look at this. Flying tanks, anyone? And there we go. We missed a lot of the battle, but it is 4 versus 2. I'm not sure if this is something that everyone had or just me. But you saw the flying tanks. And now we need to find the spaghetti. There we go. Last one here. Sheridan going over, seeing the spaghetti. Getting a bit of a derp shot in there. They're capping the base even though they don't really need to. Big hit there though. And fractal geometry is the only one left. And he's not going to be able to make it. Look at this. This is bullying. And there he goes. And Cats take home their first game in this matchup. Well done. $14k damage exactly. I've rarely ever seen a round number like that. So with 39 seconds left to go, now Cat still has to win 3 games in a row to take it home. And again, King only has to win 1 more to win the matchup and to win the realistic tournament for this weekend. So we have Cats readying up in 3 E50Ms. We have a T22 medium, a 121, a T62A and a Sherry. But Cats' lion is offline and he has not readied up, so that's not a good thing. And they're gonna be up against a 140, 4202, a Sheridan, a Leo, 2 E50Ms and the STB, and iLion has still not ready up. Oh my god, he didn't make it! Oh my god! Oh, that is so sad though. Because especially now, it will be... Oh no! Oh, that is just so... No! Aww.
Let's get this show on the road.
Thing is, they can't let it go to a draw either. Mika doesn't seem to be here either. There he goes. But oh my god, poor Alliance. And now we have King. They already have the gun advantage. Straight off the HP advantage of 2k. It's a lot of difference. Plum Dragon losing a bit of HP there. The only thing that will work in Cat's favor is if for some reason King really overextends and they get magical ammo racks or something. But this is not looking good for Cats. And that missile missed, went all the way around. Oh, but that's so sad though. Poor Alliance. One more missile, but that actually penned. Big pen though. And both teams are very well, defensive in a way. They're waiting. But that's the thing though. Cats can't afford to wait. They can't afford for King to all pull together. Ooh, ooh, ow, Nova works. Losing a ton of HP there. And basically, they're in a lot of trouble. And we see another missile maybe. No, they're not risking it. No, base A is being kept. That is a big hit, look at that. They are moving in. But they have to be so careful. They have to take out the gun so quick. And not lose any HP for it. But that is what they are losing. They're not shooting the same target again. Guys, come on. Locust being tracked, not helping. They've lost a lot of HP for this and they haven't taken out a gun for it. Uncle moving in. Mika almost gone. Locust is almost gone. And now we see King moving in with their full health tanks. There goes Nova. Mika is gonna go soon. There he goes. And now they only have 4 guns left versus 7. That's not gonna go well. There goes Locust. Ilias being ganged up on now. He's almost gone. A little bit of a nudge there. There he goes. Cats for freedom. There he goes. And now only Papa. He's always the last one there. But there he goes. And the game. And the match. The matchup. And the tournament is for King. Oof. But that's not the way you want to win. Definitely not the way you want to lose. But just, oof. We've had game crashes before. You saw what happened in Rockfield with my game. With tanks flying and everything. That kind of stuff. It's not normal. But congratulations to King. You definitely outplayed Cats. I have to give you that. Because even with iLion not being there, the matches before then, you were definitely dominant over them. In playstyle. It worked out for you. And mainly, I think that's all due to communication. I expect that King indeed was on voice together. And Cats wasn't. Or not enough in any case. They weren't communicating. So that's something they could definitely work on. Overall though, they were fun matches these. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Despite the sad ending. Oof. So let's see what's happening to the other bracket. Oh, it's already over according to the game. Even though we're still live. Final stage. There we go. E7 took it home. CR is second. Kojungu is... Kojun, love you. Is third. And Plato is fourth. And here Feast is actually last. Valentine comes before that. And then we have... whatchamacallit, Cats. And then King. The champion of the tournament this weekend. So congratulations to everyone. Thank everyone, every player and everything for the gameplay. It was fun to see, even though it was so sad though with iLion. That is something that I really do wish Wargaming would fix their service, because they keep saying that there's nothing visible server side, but it happens too often and to too many players for it to be just random and not be on the server side. So yeah, congratulations to King, congratulations to E7. That is it for me for now. I'm going to go get some sleep between the matches. And I'll be back in about 6.5 hours to stream the EU server. So, not much else I can say here. Like I said, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely did. Hope to see you tonight for the EU and later on for NA. And I'll be seeing you guys later. Have a good day. Bye bye.